Great. And guys, you both talked about the onboarding process as one of those typical use cases. And there's a question from Alejandro in the audience who's asking which of these areas would be, or which of the areas would be the easiest to start with, which could be that test drive, so to say, and why. Would you say that onboarding or HR processes would be a good way to go?
Well, I think that's kind of the logical one that organizations look at. But as far as whether that's the right one to start with, I think the right one for an organization to start with is probably where they're having some pain. You want to look at what's something that's happening that requires that would benefit from being tracked in a common database, that would benefit the user from having a common experience with submitting a ticket or with making a request. And that's a whatever that is, that's a good one to start with. I think HR and facilities often come to the front, but it can be something else entirely. It can be something related to. I'm trying to think of an example, and the first thing that came to mind was I remembered an organization that was having a lot of trouble with parking spaces, but come to think of it, that's a facilities use case. So that one isn't a very good example, but it can be just about anything inside an organization. I know, Mark, when we were talking earlier, it seems like it has expanded to a lot of different areas within University of Glasgow.
Oh yeah, and as you say there, look for the volunteers. Look for people who are experiencing pain, and that's your customers too. What processes are difficult? Where are there gaps? Where does something fall down when it leaves one team and goes to another team? And that's say if you can make, if you've got an audience there who are know that they've got a problem, they're going to be easier ones to convince this is the way to go. So yeah, definitely looking for volunteers rather than conscripts. I think I would put it that way. I mean, that's what we've done in a lot of areas. It's been very much going out and speaking to teams, and then easily and quite rapidly building a proof of concept for them. So this is how it could look, or you build up almost a library of use cases that are more often than not too dissimilar to the problems they're having, or the process that they're trying to make this work for. So it's a sort of once you get the momentum going, it's easier because you've got more use cases to show, to demonstrate value, to show even the skeptics how this works. And if it works for the people who are doing a very similar job to you, then why aren't you doing it?
One of the trends I've seen in ESM is this kind of bifurcation of solutions that a lot of it has to do with taking service management and moving that out into other areas. And that's mostly what we've been talking about up to this point. But then there are some applications of ESM that I think actually are starting to become a little bit more prominent, and we're hearing more about, where it's more the other way. It's more expanding the use of that ITSM environment to manage non-service management workflows, but that are critically connected to them. For example, with Ivanti for ITSM Enterprise, we've got a module for GRC, so that's governance, risk, and compliance. And basically, that is a supplement to, or kind of exists in the same world as if you're managing security incidents, if you're managing security operations with your service management environment. Now you've got the policy end of it as well, right? That's being tracked inside the solution, along with the more kind of hands-on track the incident. Or we've got PPM, where you got your project and portfolio management, and that's being tracked. Do you see those kinds of applications? Are you moving into those kinds of areas at University of Glasgow, project management? management of policy, those kinds of things?
Yeah, well, to be fair, we've built our own using the platform. So the likes of data protection, freedom of information, even complaints handling. We've built them in as just as standalone objects within within the platform, but where appropriate, they can interact with other areas. So definitely, it's it's really, it's down to your almost your imagination. Which areas can you bring in? Because again, I'll go back to a lot of this stuff is the same, or very similar. So if it works in one line of business, it can work in another.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it kind of goes to why we have to. I think we really have to start thinking in terms of enterprise service management, because this goes well beyond the idea of just the traditional IT help desk.